So in this video I want to talk about the beginner experience in the boxing gym and stay along the lines of the psychological component of boxing, since some of my videos recently have been talking about that, have been addressing the psychological components of boxing. And I think that this is really the most important part of your journey into boxing, because it's your mindset and your experiences and your response to those experiences and those stresses that will determine, how you perform in boxing and how you go about achieving success in boxing. Whatever success means, how you go about achieving your goals in the sport of boxing. Now, there are a couple challenges that most people face when they come into the boxing gym. And in about a month, I have a new product coming out which is designed to help address this to a certain extent. I've designed a boxer's startup guide, and it's about 2 hours of instructional footage. So I pretty much laid everything out, from stance, footwork, techniques, drills, head movement, like pretty much a whole curriculum of boxing designed to prepare the person who is about to go to the boxing gym and wants to get a leg up, or for the person who is seriously involved in another sport, combat sport or martial art, and wants to learn boxing officially, the proper way, all the techniques and everything thoroughly done. And that will be coming out in about a month or so. And the whole goal of that is, you can go to the boxing gym, and the traditional way to learn is that your coach is going to teach you the fundamentals and then the basics, and they know that time and effort and work is what makes you good. So they sit back and leave you to your own devices to train and put in the work. But along that road of putting in the work, there are a lot of hurdles to get over. First of all, the training can be boring and arduous. You don't understand what you're doing and why. You get into sparring, and it's an entirely different experience from hitting the bag, and then you're trying to link back the sparring experience to what you've been taught. What combos should I throw? Why should I throw them? When I'm done my combo, what should I do? Before I throw my combo, what should I do? And why am I doing it? And why can't I hit my sparring partner? All the negative and tough experiences that somebody goes through. In the meantime, taking lots of shots, getting pounded, and wondering if this is necessary for the experience. In this video, it's physical techniques and also addresses the psychological flow of boxing, so that when you get into the boxing gym, or if you ever decide to take up boxing serious, you can really accelerate your learning along the learning curve, because you know what you're doing and why, and the purpose of everything, as opposed to traditional boxing instruction, which is really survival of the fittest. That's pretty much old school boxing gym mentality, and even mid school or new school is still a little bit like that. If you can't absorb the information and use it in a way that's effective, you can get a little bit of pointers and tips here and there, but if whatever the coach is showing you isn't working for you, you're pretty much out of luck. You have to take what you get. And that comes down to, again, what type of coach you have and what type of gym you're at and how they build you up. Another thing that happens for people, especially when they go to the boxing gym, is that it's not that they're getting minimal instruction or they don't know what to do with the instruction, is that they're not getting any attention from their coach at all. And like I said before, I think that most coaches out there are good. They have their heart in the right place. The fact that they're coaching boxing means that they want to share their knowledge and that they want to see somebody experience the same thing they experienced, especially since most coaches grew up in a time when it was do or die, survival of the fittest. So they've already gone through that process and proven themselves, and they want to share this knowledge with other people who want this experience. The problem is that the coach only has so much time to share with fighters and people in the gym, and there's only so many people who are taking boxing serious enough. So until, again, these two paths merge, you will see that the coach is on their own path, and new students or up and coming students are trying to merge into that path. So then it comes down to the question of, how do I get the best instruction? How do I get attention from my coach? And the number one way you can do that, what I personally believe the number one way you can do that, is you have to prove your work ethic in the gym. Boxing is one of those sports where work ethic is 90% of your results. Of course, natural ability plays into it, style and technique and tactics play into it, but work ethic is going to get you most of the way there. There is no greater signal of what somebody's mentality is like than when you see them cut a corner somewhere, when you see them doing something in the gym and they book out early, or they are on the heavy bag and they're only going at a certain pace, only doing a few rounds. My personal belief is the way to prove yourself in the boxing gym, to prove yourself to the coach, is that you have to show it through your work ethic. So how do you show it through your work ethic? A little off topic getting into this, a concept of work ethic. There's a speech by Malcolm X called The Ballot or the Bullet. And this is a fantastic speech. Of course, the main message and concepts in the speech are about race relations in America, but there are other core human values and concepts, core messages that anybody can extract from there. One part in the speech, Malcolm X is talking about your own philosophy and how that affects the things that you do. And he says, if you change your philosophy, or in other words, if you have the right philosophy, that's going to change your thought pattern. And when you change your thought pattern, that changes your attitude. And when you change your attitude, that changes your behavior pattern, the things that you do. And when you have a changed behavior pattern, then you go into some action. And the action is what yields the results. And we all know those sayings, actions speak louder than words, or a person is defined by their actions, not their words. A person is defined by their deeds. And so in the boxing gym, it's your actions that are going to show really what you're made of. Now you can start from that top end and really look at your philosophy. Now what constitutes a philosophy? In my opinion, your philosophy is comprised of your values. If you have to think of let's say the three most important things to you, things that really aren't changed by time or circumstance, something like love or freedom or knowledge or contentment, inner peace, these are things that are absolutes on their own. Once you understand your own personal philosophy of what matters to you, that affects what you do in your life, where you go. If you see that this matters to you more than that, then you're going to start to go this way. It's important, I think, for a person, especially someone who gets started in boxing, to really be clear on their own personal philosophy, what matters to them and how boxing plays into that. But it doesn't always have to start like that. It can actually go in reverse. So we talk about how your philosophy comes down and affects your actions. But you can also have your actions impact your philosophy. And there's one way you can do that, and that is sacrifice. Sacrifice is the action gateway to affecting your mindset. And you think about stories from Mike Tyson, how he says, people don't realize how hard I train in the gym. People don't realize that I would do 1,000 sit-ups per workout, that I would be in the gym this many hours training this hard. You hear interviews with Ali, how he was literally running 10 miles a day, putting in more miles on the road than anybody else. Whether that's the best training method or not, he was putting in the time and the sacrifice. You hear stories of Freddie Roach having to tell Pacquiao to go home, to pack it up. You've done enough. You always hear Mayweather talking about sacrifice, what he gives up in order to achieve what he has achieved. So think about your own training and the things that you're doing in the gym or the things that you're doing in your life. And if you want to have some change in how people perceive you and have a really direct impact on your own boxing progress and skills immediately, the first thing that you should ask yourself is, where can I make a sacrifice? A sacrifice can be made in terms of your time. You're going to put more time in the gym. A sacrifice can be made in terms of effort or pain. You're going to do more ab training, you're going to do more rounds on the bag, you're going to do more conditioning, more road work. You're going to train harder, you're going to train faster. When you do certain things, you're going to sacrifice your comfort. You can sacrifice pleasure and indulgence. Anything that you feel that you can give up, even if it's just something small. Going out one night a week instead of two. Alcohol, chocolate, ice cream, hanging out with certain people, doing certain things. This is going to affect your mindset. And again, if you look at what separates you between you and somebody else, when you look at somebody else who's achieved something, at least in sports or in boxing, most of the time the result comes from sacrifice. It's not that, you know, like for example, somebody who is wealthy but they inherited their business from their family. You know, it will probably take sacrifice for them to sustain the business, but yes, they were handed it to them. But in the sport of boxing, nobody can hand you the skills, nobody can hand you the ability. You have to go out there and work and earn it, and that takes sacrifice. Again, the struggle is for beginners. There are two main struggles. One is the learning curve of boxing and getting through the initial obstacles, which is making sense of it all and applying that in sparring and being able to adapt to the sparring situation so that you want to continue. And this is something that I address in the new Boxer Startup Guide that I have coming out. That Boxer Startup Guide is designed to literally save you hundreds of hours of pain and agony in the boxing gym so that you can have a leg up when you hit the ground running when you get in there. The other thing as well with your boxing is how do you separate yourself and get attention from the coach and get the best training. That to me comes from sacrifice. Be known as that person in the gym who hits the heavy bag round upon round. Be known as that person in the gym who runs big distances or runs hard or is running on the regular. Be known as that person in the gym who does burpees, you know, until the cows come home. Find a way that you can make a sacrifice in your life somewhere, ideally when it comes to your training in the boxing gym. Don't cut corners and don't be caught cutting corners. No matter where you cut the corner, somebody can see it. They can see it when you hit the pads, they can see it on the bag. When you're going light, when you're cutting rounds, when you're cutting work, somebody knows, and the message gets out there even if nobody communicates it. People start to get a sense of, you know, what you're like and what you're about. Of course, you know, I'm not saying to go out there in the boxing gym tomorrow and kill yourself. You need gradual progression. Don't go out there and sacrifice everything. But slowly and steadily make more sacrifices. Ask yourself, where can I make a small sacrifice? How can I have a small win today? You're gonna win today by having the best workout you've ever had. You're gonna win today by giving up something and putting in some extra work here or there. And that type of attitude is going to breed success for you. However you define success in boxing, that type of attitude is going to breed success for you over the long term. The main message in this video is look at what you're doing, make the sacrifice, change your actions to impact your philosophy. Think about your philosophy to change your actions. And I really think that's going to have a big impact on your boxing. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.